Hi everyone, I'm Chef Kieran Fleming. I'm the executive chef here at Agua Caliente Palm Springs. And today we're out on our beautiful steakhouse patio, and I'm going to show you how to make a nice, simple and easy mesquite bar recipe. For this recipe, you probably have a lot of these items in your cupboard. This is a can of pumpkin puree. In this recipe, you're going to use half of this can. You're going to need some honey. If you can get local honey, I highly recommend using local honey. This is baking powder. Not baking soda, make sure you use baking powder. There's a big difference. And for this recipe, I recommend you switch to whole nutmeg. It holds longer, it gives a great fresh flavor to all of your recipes. So the one item you may not have at home in your cupboard is the mesquite flour, which is, in this recipe, the star of the show. You can find this at specialty food stores and online. This is mesquite flour, which is made from the pods of the mesquite tree. It's ground down into a fine powder. So the first step in this recipe is we're going to start with 2/3 cup of water, 1/2 cup of honey, and 3 tablespoons of butter. And we're going to place that in a saucepan and put it on medium heat just until the butter melts. So we're going to add 2/3 cup of water, 3 tablespoons of butter, and 1/2 cup of honey. So after we've mixed all the ingredients, we're going to have this on a medium heat until the butter melts, and we just slowly keep stirring it so we don't scorch the butter. So after the butter is melted, this is what the mixture should look like. And you can set this aside, and then we're going to mix the flours together and then incorporate this all. Okay, so we will start with the 1.5 cups of whole wheat flour. We have the 1.5 cups of the mesquite flour. Make sure you get all of that out. This is really where a lot of the moisture comes from on these bars, otherwise it'll be kind of dry. Then we have our tablespoon of baking powder, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, and then we're going to do about 1/8. Always use fresh nutmeg. It makes a huge difference in your recipes. And then we're just going to mix this together. I recommend you wear gloves and mix it by hand. This is a very dense batter, so it's a lot easier to mix it by hand. So just fold it over until it starts to come together a little bit. And then we're going to add the water, the honey, and the butter mixture. So just a little bit like this. So like I said, this is a very dense batter. So at some point you're going to want to just use your hands to mix it in. It starts to stick to the spatula. And it's going to be almost like a brownie consistency, a little bit thicker consistency than a brownie. And you're going to have the urge to add water to it, but don't. Trust me, the recipe works out well. When you put it in, it'll cook up and it'll rise. There, we just incorporate all the ingredients like that. See, and it's a very thick dough. So now that we've incorporated all the ingredients, our next step is to pour this mixture into an 8x8 greased cooking pan. And it should come all out in one piece. Since this batter is so dense, it's very easy to work with. And all you're going to do is lightly spread it out. And I recommend using the back of your hand. It creates a smoother surface. Make it nice and even. You want a nice even surface to cook. So now that we've got all the ingredients in, we're going to place this in the oven for 20 minutes at 350 degrees. After about an hour, the mesquite bars should be cooled down enough for you to cut them into 1x1 squares and enjoy these incredible treats. So as a final touch, I like to sprinkle a little bit of powdered sugar over top. And there you have it, freshly baked mesquite bars. Thanks for joining us at the Wildflower Festival this year. I'm Executive Chef Kieran Fleming at Agua Caliente Palm Springs, and it was a pleasure cooking with you and sharing this recipe.